see life through their eyes, uncover rogues and wretches and their notorious legacies, sing the songs they took with them and dance to their tune, be inspired by their creativity, hear their captivating stories, explore new worlds, and meet some unforgettable characters. Journey through 1,500 years of Irish history, brought to life like never before at the world's first fully digital museum, EPIC, the Irish Emigration Museum.
The EPIC was built 5 years ago, 7 years ago, $20 million. Excuse me? 3 years ago, $20 million, fairly large amount of space underground in each one of these categories, specifically to talk about emigration, people leaving the museum. You could see there, when my stuff got out of the way, that it was all digital, many ways to interact. Some of it physical, some of it swiping with touch screens, some of it simply watching videos as they're happening. But in each space, you're emotionally and physically engaged. So what I want to show you next is the emotion of how a water video and waterfall is working in the front lobby of this Salesforce. This is a video wall that's 70 feet long. It's their open lobby. This waterfall is simple video. It's simple to take. This is a 3D animation that's created to fit over the opening of the door. It's an example of how it's changeable, how it emotionally just drags you as soon as you come in and see it. And if you do something like that and it's also interactive and you're touching and feeling with it, it keeps you completely engaged. There's one more I want to show you, and this one's a little more straight up educational. This is a table in front of the person who's operating it. On that table is a pond. Anything on that pond, they're telling you here what you can grab. You go grab a thing, bring it into the little space, and it tells you what it is. It's like having a microscope. If you go above, it zooms in closer. So now you're looking at the smaller, very tiny animals that are in this pond. And in a second, after they're done seeing what those tiny animals are, you'll go even smaller, even closer in and say, what's floating inside that water? Grab each one of those, put it down, and see what's there. On this type of interaction, we can also create a metagame. A metagame is something that we use in the game industry to move people through spaces. And you can have a card where you have to collect in each one of the different displays the different things that happen or that see. So when you leave, you have a report card. It's not really a report card. It's a collection of things that you actually found, saw, and accomplished while you were at the museum. So these are three simple examples of how a little bit more intense looking and reading is happening on a screen like this. That very emotional thing that can happen with video, like walking through the waterfall in order to come into the space to begin with. And then of course you saw the variety of things that can happen inside the epic. Get enough of these things turned off, I'll find my way back. So our center, that's not good. I'll just go ahead and go to the next video that I want to show you. We're planning a 10,000 square foot facility of the exhibition space. We know that we also need to have space for when you drop kids off and keep them out of the rain, keep them out of the sun. So somewhere we're going to have a large covering at the very beginning. Our vision for children is you would bring them up in school buses. You'd have 1 or 2 school buses of people who would drive in and drop them off. As you come into the center, we would have different types. I'm going to pause this for a second. You would have different types of things that can go on in the space, interactive. These are digital surround sound televisions. 5 or 6 people can sit in the center and it's immersive. We could put on the glasses that go over the top so that you can have a virtual world to be able to see, or you can sit and be immersed in a world and not have to have the actual glasses themselves. In these spaces you would have, this is where the seats go, you would have a touch screen in front of you similar to the one that you saw in the video that would be able to manage the way these go or don't go, the way that they run. Obviously we'll have real artifacts with boats, and on each one of these we would have touch screens where you'd be able to do the history that Roger was showing us about these particular boats, where you could bring that up and explore. There'll be zones that are geological zone in the back, drift boat zone in the front. This is an interactive floor where it's a pool. You can literally stand onto the pool and the kids can chase the fish around. It's a simulator with a semi-dome so you don't have to wear the glasses, and you have the drift boat or the raft to be able to go down through Martin Rapids. We're in the planning zones of this right now, to where we know there are many, many of these things that are possible. I showed you things that are available now today, and there are things that we can build that have not been done before. Something like a virtual aquarium or an interactive large screen where you walk up and touch it are very, very within the realm of possibility. This is a virtual fly casting. I bet everybody here has seen the golf things where you hit the golf and it takes off and flies, and it tells you the speed of the ball and everything else. Fly casting could be very simple. Not necessarily in this plan, but something that we would like to do if we manage it well, is a domed theater. This is built to be outside the main area so that we can do it at the current time or at a later time. This dome is a projected LED similar to a planetarium, and there are now nationwide programs like Young Nikola Tesla or other video type programs that are shown in domes. Domes have become quite a common thing now, and especially we have rentable content that we could put there, and we would probably create one movie for this particular McKenzie River itself. This is the vision of the how we would pull this all together. I don't think I need to go too much farther on any of this here, Tom. I think what we should do is talk just a little bit about how each of you can help us. We're here to raise money. We're here to talk about the future. It doesn't have to be today, and certainly we're mentioning, come on up, we're mentioning that lottery dollars is an important thing to us. We have to pull together with the county, the local governments, the state and federal lottery dollars or federal grant money, We have foundation grants that are out now. We are hoping to have 2 staff members be paid for by foundation grants by the end of this year. And then, of course, we're raising individual donations. Since 2015, we've raised $250,000, $242,000. And we have the gracious $1 a year lease on this particular piece of property, which we can all go out to, but that will go later from Lake County. Tremendous asset. Thank you, Randy. Let's give Randy.